เ 好，大家準備啦。好，歡迎大家嚟到今日警方嘅記者會啊！咁啊喺今日開始前呢，咁我而家介紹下台上邊嘅6位講者先。咁首先大家中間嘅偏右方，咁就係我哋警察公共關係科總警司謝振中先生。而喺謝 Sir 嘅右手邊就係有組織罪案及三合會調查科高級警司李桂華先生。而喺阿謝 Sir 嘅左手邊，咁就係警察公共關係科高級警司江永祥先生。而喺江 Sir 嘅左手邊呢，咁就係行動部嘅警司方志堅先生。咁而去翻喺大家嘅左手邊呢，咁係由中區警區助理指揮官區指揮官行動廖家琪先生。咁啊，廖 Sir 嘅右手邊呢，我哋有消防處嘅代表嘅，咁就消防處助理消防區長危害物質伍顯華先生。咁稍後呢幾位講者會先後發言啦。咁啊，跟住就會有個問題環節嘅。咁問題環節就係、如果有意想發問嘅傳媒，麻煩舉手講出你係嚟自邊間傳媒機構嘅。咁啊，最多發問3條。咁啊，事不宜遲啦，我將個時間交俾謝 Sir。
好，大家好。今日嘅記者會呢，我會先交代一下新屋嶺嘅情況，之後呢會交由江 Sir 呢作出一啲澄清，同埋講解下行動相關嘅一啲數字，當中包括呢一啲學生被捕而家嘅情況。然後我會交俾中區廖 Sir 咧講一講關於嚟緊週末一啲公眾活動嘅情況。咁另外咧，我哋有見及過往嘅一啲公眾活動之後咧，有暴徒縱火同埋掟汽油彈。我哋情報亦都顯示有暴徒咧係話想喺汽油彈裏面咧加入一啲化學嘅物質，以加強汽油彈嘅殺傷力。所以我哋今日邀請咗消防處伍 Sir 都會講解下關於一啲汽油彈同縱火嘅問題，同對市民財產造成嘅一啲威脅。咁最後我會做一個總結嘅。首先我會先交代一下新屋嶺拘留中心嘅一啲背景資料。打鼓嶺分區轄下嘅新屋嶺拘留中心咧係警隊其中一個羈留嘅設施，喺1979年落成。裡面嘅設施、保安同埋保障犯人嘅私隱上嘅安排咧，都係符合警隊有關政策嘅要求。一般而言咧，平日新屋嶺拘留中心咧只係會用作拘留非法入境者。未來我哋會繼續保留新屋嶺拘留中心處理非法入境者嘅用途。自6月初反修例行動開始咧，警方曾經有4次使用過新屋嶺拘留中心作為臨時扣留中心嘅用途，處理行動中被捕嘅人士，分別喺8月5至7日、8月11至13日、8月25至26日，以及9月1至2日。喺4次嘅行動入面，最多一次曾經處理過75名被捕人。我哋曾經因為以下嘅原因考慮將新屋嶺拘留中心用作臨時扣留中心，包括原因係因為要處理大量嘅被捕人士，個別警署因為不足以應付被捕嘅人數，或者係市區嘅情況太過混亂，同埋市區嘅警署或者羈留設施受到不同程度嘅襲擊。我要強調，如果冇暴徒違法，警方根本唔需要執法，而冇大規模嘅拘捕，根本冇需要用到新屋嶺拘留中心作為臨時扣留嘅用途。但係我哋留意到喺呢個行動裡面，使用新屋嶺拘留中心作為暫時嘅扣留用途，引起咗公眾唔少嘅揣測，同時亦有唔少不實同埋冇證據嘅指控。所以我哋喺9月2日之後就冇再喺新屋嶺設立臨時扣留中心。我要強調，新屋嶺拘留中心喺整體嘅保安、私隱保障方面呢，都係符合政策上嘅要求。 喺新屋嶺裏面，警方亦有確保被捕人士嘅權利得到保障。就過往行動上喺新屋嶺設立臨時扣留中心，我有以下3點想作補充。第一，我哋留意到傳媒報道同網上消息就住新屋嶺臨時扣留中心有唔同嘅指控，包括有女被捕人被侵犯，亦都有話有被捕人喺裡面被打。直至現時為止，警察投訴科收到2個涉及新屋嶺臨時扣留中心嘅投訴，2個投訴同任何性侵都冇關係。我哋重申，唔少呢啲指控都係冇理據、唔真實。我哋亦作出咗多次嘅澄清，而暫時唔考慮喺新屋嶺設立臨時扣留中心，同呢啲失實嘅指控絕對冇任何嘅關係。第二，新屋嶺拘留中心位置比較偏遠，而且行動之中要處理較多嘅被捕人士嘅時候，處理時間一般較平時長，可能因為咁樣嘅安排，亦都會令到被捕人同埋律師有所誤解。3，我哋強調警方不論使用邊一個地方作為拘留被捕人士，都一定會按照既定嘅程序處理，確保被捕人嘅權利。被警方羈留人士享有多項嘅權利，例如喺唔會對調查工作或者司法程序造成不合理延誤或者阻礙嘅情況之下，可以享有尋求法律支援嘅權利。被羈留嘅人士亦都享有接受診治嘅權利。當被羈留人士要求或者值日官認為被羈留人士因為患病或者受傷而需要接受治療嘅時候，值日官會盡快將該人送去最就近嘅公立醫院或者診所。為咗令被羈留人士更了解佢哋嘅權利，所有被羈留人士都會被警方拘捕後獲發一份通知書，清楚解釋佢哋所享有嘅權利。我哋強調警方唔論使用邊一個地方羈留被捕人士，都會以同樣嘅既定程序去處理，確保被捕人士嘅權利。警方喺行動上面暫停使用新屋嶺拘留中心，並非因為失實冇證據嘅指控，而係我哋考慮到公眾因為呢個地方作出咗大量嘅揣測，以及設施比較偏遠所可能帶嚟嘅一啲不便，所以喺行動上暫時唔再考慮使用呢個地方。我哋重申，雖然新屋嶺嘅指控有好多，但係呢啲指控全部都係冇根據、唔真實、混淆視聽。但係就住警察投訴科接到嘅相關投訴，我哋必定會嚴肅跟進咁調查。跟住落嚟，我會將時間交俾江 Sir 講講關於一啲行動上嘅數字。
係，唔該謝 Sir。由6月初至今去到9月27號，警方一共拘捕咗1596個人。而喺呢一個嘅拘捕數字裏邊，我今日特別想講下有關拘捕學生嘅人數嘅分析，尤其是係喺9月1號開學之後嘅一啲嘅拘捕數字嘅比較。由6月9號去到暑假完結，即係8月31號之前，警方一共喺呢個行動裏邊拘捕咗1046人，而其中學生係包括咗257人嘅，當中係包含咗中學生啊，同埋其他大專院校學生等等。咁啊，佔頭先所講嘅1046人嘅整體人數呢，就大概係2成半。咁喺9月1號開學之後，去到9月27號，警方喺呢段期間一共拘捕咗550名嘅人士。當中學生嘅人數係佔咗207人，係佔整體喺呢段時間嘅拘捕人數嘅8%。我哋睇到喺開學之後，學生被捕嘅比例係明顯上升嘅。我喺呢度重申，警方一向都尊重市民嘅言論同埋集會自由，但係我哋睇到呢個拘捕數字上升嘅現象，係由於一啲唔和平同埋唔有秩序，甚至乎暴力嘅公眾活動嘅 期間，有一啲嘅年輕人就參與其中，於是乎被拘捕。我哋想喺度提醒，如果年輕人係因為一時衝動，又或者係未深思熟慮嘅情況底下去干犯咗唔同嘅罪行，而留有案底呢，係會影響佢嘅一生。而呢一樣嘢呢，我相信亦都係社會上邊唔希望見到嘅。特別係一啲參與喺嚴重罪行裏邊，例如暴動罪，最高刑罰係去到監禁10年嘅；而縱火罪最高刑罰更加係終身監禁。我哋而家唔係玩緊一啲角色扮演遊戲，呢個世界裏邊係冇火魔法師嘅。我哋見到嘅就只有縱火嘅狂徒，就好似上個週末，我哋喺旺角警署外邊拘捕咗一名有份放火嘅年輕人，佢只係16歲啫，而我哋已經檢控咗佢縱火罪。我喺呢度呼籲所有嘅年輕人或者學生，喺作出呢啲違法行為嘅時候，要停一停，諗一諗。而佢嘅老師或者家長，亦都要多加留意呢啲年輕人，應該對佢哋循循善誘。如果佢哋真係參與咗喺呢啲咁樣嘅嚴重違法行為嘅時候，應該及早介入，以免佢哋犯下一啲彌補唔到嘅過錯。跟住我會講講過去幾日嘅拘捕數字。星期一9月23號，警方喺荃灣同埋屯門共拘捕4人，包括3男1女，年齡介乎16至48歲。拘捕罪名包括藏有攻擊性武器、藏有物品可作非法用途，同埋藏有腐蝕性物品。9月24號星期二，警方喺沙田同埋旺角一帶共拘捕15人，包括12男3女，年齡介乎14至31歲。拘捕罪名包括非法集結、藏有攻擊性武器同埋刑事毀壞等等。9月25號星期三，警方喺沙田共拘捕2人，分別係1名男子同1名女子，年齡係16同埋17歲，罪名係非法集結同埋襲警。9月26號星期四，警方喺元朗拘捕1名男子，年齡係19歲，牽涉嘅罪行包括藏有物品可作非法用途同埋縱火。法庭案件喺啱啱嘅星期六，我哋喺屯門拘捕咗1名涉嫌侮辱國旗嘅13歲女子，我哋已經檢控咗佢1條侮辱國旗罪。而佢已經喺今早喺屯門裁判法院提堂。而就住7月13號喺上水發生嘅暴力事件，我哋喺8月29號拘捕咗1名男子，而我哋亦都係琴日已經檢控咗佢非法集結同埋襲警罪。佢已經喺今朝早喺粉嶺裁判法院提堂。受傷方面，喺9月26號嘅行動，喺9月25號星期四喺大圍同埋沙田嘅一啲拘捕行動裏邊，我哋有2名警務人員係受傷嘅。而由上一次嘅記者會，即係星期一到今日為止呢，警方係冇使用過任何彈藥。跟住係澄清，我哋喺網上邊不時見到一啲對我哋作出嘅不實指控，包括一啲匿名嘅指控。甚至乎話我哋嘅警隊同事呢係性侵，甚至乎強姦咗一啲嘅被捕人。而呢啲謠言呢，至今仍然喺網上邊呢係瘋傳嘅。就有如我之前所講，對於呢啲匿名嘅指控呢，我哋係極之有保留。而我哋亦都懇請有證據嘅人向我哋舉報，我哋係會嚴肅跟進嘅。而對於嗰啲嚴重嘅性侵指控呢，我哋喺呢一度呢係否認嘅。而另外呢，我哋亦都留意到啦，近排喺一啲嘅自殺案件裏邊，有一啲市民唔單止係去到現場去拍攝，仲將一啲相片就放上網啦，仲言之鑿鑿咁話呢啲並非 自殺案件，並指控呢啲人士呢係我哋警方殺死嘅，甚至乎呢就話我哋呢就冇好好做好調查工作，就好草率呢就將案件定性為自殺。我亦都喺呢一度嚴正咁否認呢啲指控，而我哋亦都透過唔同嘅傳媒喺一啲嘅自殺案件裏邊係盡量作出澄清。但係喺公佈呢啲自殺案件嘅內容嘅時候，我哋亦都要尊重返死者同埋佢家人嘅私隱。咁所以我哋亦都唔能夠將過度嘅內容公開。但係我哋對於呢一類嘅謠言，呢一類嘅謠言不斷仲喺度瘋傳呢，我哋係覺得造謠者係絕不負責任嘅，而呢啲係極之自私嘅行為，亦都係對死者同埋佢嘅家人絕不尊重。有個別嘅事件，我見到家人亦都喺現場向一啲記者澄清咗，係同今次嘅反修例嘅行動嘅係完全無關嘅，即係佢嘅家人嘅死亡。而另外亦都係一個自殺案件，家人都講得好清楚。而仲有人繼續去造謠嘅話呢，我會覺得呢啲真係對死者極不尊重。正所謂謠言止於智者，我諗喺而家呢個充斥住謠言嘅網絡世界上邊呢，我懇請大家要拿出智慧，將呢啲謠言呢就及早去識別出嚟。另外，我哋見到網上有人傳緊呢，就話尋晚喺行政長官嘅社區對話裏邊，有一位被抽中發言嘅市民係警務人員，質疑佢呢係扮市民參與呢一個嘅社區對話。首先我要澄清，呢一位並非一位現職嘅人員，佢已經喺幾年前離職，係一位輔警嘅人員嚟嘅。而另外呢，我都喺度想講一講，其實警務人員休班嘅時候呢，所享有嘅自由呢，係同大家係基本上係一樣嘅。咁所以就算真係有一個休班嘅同事去參與呢一啲嘅社區對話呢，其實佢都係行使緊自己嘅公民權利，同去投票係一樣嘅。咁呢，就我嘅補充係咁多，咁跟住我就交俾阿廖 Sir 去講一講嚟緊週末嘅一啲公眾活動。
好，唔該晒阿江 Sir 啊。各位，咁我會就住咧聽日啦，9月28日星期六，咁喺港島中區咧係舉行嘅一個公眾集會咧，講我哋警方嘅一啲安排啦，同埋作出一啲呼籲嘅。咁警方咧較早前接獲一個團體嘅通知啦，咁我哋得悉佢咧就計劃咧喺9月28號喺港島中區咧舉行一個集會，咁地點咧就為天馬公園。咁咧佢哋入紙通知嘅人數咧就係1000人嘅。咁經過我哋警方啦同主辦單位咧都開過一啲準備嘅會議啦，同埋我哋做咗啲審慎嘅風險評估之後咧，咁其實我哋警方咧就決議咧就唔反對佢哋係舉辦呢一個集會。咁亦都咧喺尋日啦，喺9月26號咧，咁亦都係向呢個主辦單位咧就已經發出咗不反對通知書嘅。咁當日啦，咁我哋警方咧係會作出一啲適當嘅安排啦，以協助呢個到想參與集會人士到達同埋離開嘅啲安排。咁亦都就住近日嘅情況啦，其實我哋都希望，如果主辦單位覺得到時咧嗰個參與人數會大幅增加，或者係唔同嘅話咧，亦都想佢呼籲佢及早同我哋聯絡。咁我哋咧能夠同佢及早商討下啦，都係點樣協助啲人潮管理嘅啫。嗱，警方咧一向咧都非常之尊重市民參與集會同埋遊行嘅權利啦。咁而一貫嘅政策咧都係致力協助市民咧進行一啲和平同埋和平嘅一啲公眾集會。咁同時咧，我哋亦都有責任咧確保公共安全、公共秩序，同時咧亦都會保護其他人嘅一啲權利同埋自由嘅。咁我哋見到咧，其實喺過去呢3個月裏邊咧，期間有好多一啲暴力嘅示威者啦，大肆破壞公物啦。咁而有一啲發生地點咧，正亦都係喺今次嗰個集會地點附近嘅。咁甚至咧，亦都有一啲不同政見嘅市民啦，可能言語之間，甚至乎佢亦都咧見到係被襲擊嘅。咁我喺度啦，其實有責任去提醒各個參與集會嘅人士，不論其實係集會參與呢個集會嘅活動期間，又或者之前之後，其實同樣地咧，我覺得佢哋都應該有責任咧，確保咧係要有秩序咁樣去參與今次活動啦。 唔應該作出任何咧損害公共秩序、公共安全嘅一啲行為，例如去做出一啲堵塞呢個馬路啊、阻礙呢一個緊急通道啊呢啲咁嘅情況啦。對於一啲違法、刻意破壞公共安全、公共秩序嘅行為咧，若果佢哋見到嘅時候咧，切勿咧去參與啦。警方咧係定必會咧即時咧去介入，亦都咧係會進行搜證啦，同埋追究相關嘅刑事責任嘅。警方咧會喺現場亦都會設置一啲揚聲嘅裝置啦，咁到時咧會配合我哋做一啲人潮管理嘅一啲措施。咁咧就到時咧請市民啦，亦都現場嘅大會嘅一啲糾察啦，都希望各位市民咧都會遵從我哋嘅指示，咁啊以和平同埋有理性嘅方法咧去表達呢次嘅訴求嘅。咁若果啦真係好不幸有一啲突發、一啲危險嘅事情咧發生嘅時候咧，我喺度咧都即係呼籲在場嘅人士咧，應該咧係盡快離開有危險嘅地方嚇，盡快離開嗰個地方。我喺度咧呼籲主辦單位啦要注意啦，如果當個集會係出現咗暴力、混亂或者其他唔可以控制嘅情況之下咧，主辦單位咧需要配合我哋警方現場嘅一啲評估同埋安排咧，作出適當嘅呼籲，甚至乎咧係最壞嘅情況下咧，需要係終止嗰個集會嘅。我哋見到咧，其實喺除咗呢個活動之外咧，亦都喺網絡上面啦、社交媒體咧，有不同嘅一啲人士或者係組織咧，係呼籲舉辦一啲唔同嘅公眾活動嘅。咁我哋警方咧必須要提醒啦，亦都要呼籲相關嘅人士或者係組織。咁若果係根據真係要舉辦呢啲活動咧，佢哋係需要根據翻公安條例咧，向警方咧申請不反對通知書，超過50人嘅集會或者超過30人嘅遊行，咁以便咧其實我哋警方咧係作出相應嘅安排，亦都係確保呢一個公眾活動咧可以和平咁樣去進行嘅。好，咁咧就我嘅講咧就去到呢度啦。咁我跟住落嚟咧，我會係交俾消防嘅同事。
多謝。各位好，近日網上流傳呢，示威者可能會使用一啲危險嘅化學品，例如磷粉、鎂粉或者氯氣彈。不當咁使用呢啲化學品呢，會對人體造成嚴重嘅傷害。在此，消防處呼籲示威人士要顧及所有人員嘅安全，切勿喺示威之中使用任何危險嘅化學品。基於化學品具有唔同嘅化學特性，包括咗易燃、腐蝕性以及毒性。所以如果市民沾染到呢啲化學品嘅話呢，我哋應該第一時間將受污染嘅衣物除去，並且喺可行嘅情況之下，用大量嘅清水從頭到腳由上而下進行一個清洗。如果大家喺室內嘅地方聞到一啲刺激性嘅氣體，各位應該盡快離開，去一個室外嘅地方。反之，如果大家喺室外嘅地方聞到呢啲刺激性嘅氣味、呢啲氣體嘅話咧，應該咧就係從一個上風嘅位置，盡快咧就離開現場。喺有需要嘅時候咧，就尋求醫療嘅協助。另外，示威人士亦都我喺度呼籲示威人士應該停止投擲汽油彈或者縱火嘅行為。其他市民亦要遠離相關嘅區域，保持警覺性同埋唔好圍觀，要時刻注意安全。如果有人被燃燒彈波及，以致到身上邊或者身體着火，要立即停低，然後踎低，用手掩面以保護面部，並且於地下滾動，直至到火警熄滅為止。如果現場係有相關嘅滅火筒以及毛氈，亦都可用作滅火之用。如果有一個受傷嘅皮膚呢，我哋應該用一個大量嘅水去清洗。可以嘅話呢，用敷料同埋保鮮紙呢就包住個傷口，咁樣就可以減低感染嘅機會，以及呢就盡快送院治療。多謝。
好，我會做一個總結。頭先消防處伍 Sir 都講過縱火同埋掟汽油彈嘅危險。我哋重申，任何形式嘅縱火，甚至用汽油彈傷人呢，都係非常之嚴重嘅罪行，可以被判處終身監禁。 我哋留意到有暴徒美化縱火或者掟汽油彈嘅行為，而喺過去嘅公眾活動裏面，亦都越嚟越多縱火同掟汽油彈嘅案件。例如8月31日，暴徒一日之內掟咗超過100個汽油彈。止暴制亂，保持香港嘅繁榮同埋安全，除咗係我哋嘅工作，亦都需要大家嘅合作。警方強調，我哋一定會盡力協助市民同和平有序咁表達佢哋嘅意見。但係如果有違法嘅事件，我哋必定會調查，將犯法嘅人繩之於法。警方亦會繼續維持公眾治安，確保公眾安全，喺公眾秩序受到滋擾嘅時候，作出相應嘅行動同部署。嚟緊落嚟，我會用英文簡短講講頭先我哋嘅中文稿。First of all, we understand the public concern about the use of Sun Luk Lang Holding Centre. The centre is one of our official and standard detention facilities. Its setting and facilities are all in line with the police policies and regulations. Built in 1979, the centre is mainly used to hold illegal immigrants and will continue to serve this main function. However, due to its relatively remote location, we normally prioritize using other detention facilities closer to the city. Since early June, we have used the Sun Luk Lane Holding Centre to hold arrested persons only as an ad hoc measure for 4 times during this operation. At peak, we put as many as 75 arrested people temporarily in the centre. However, we fully understand the public concern about using these facilities. Many unnamed, unverified, and untrue allegations have arisen. We will stop using the Sun Luk Lane Holding Centre for holding arrested person in this operation. The reason is to avoid any further public speculation and unnecessary remarks accusing the police. Regarding the discussion in the community dialogue section yesterday, the police have a few more points to supplement. First, I must stress the decision to stop using Sun Luk Lane has nothing to do with the groundless claims alleging the police of misconduct like excessive use of force and sexual harassment. We do not accept such anomalous accusations. It's very unfair for anyone to make accusation without coming forward. We appeal to anyone who feels aggrieved by police to make a report to us in person. Any investigation, be it criminal or internal, can only go on with the testimony of witness. So far, we have only received 2 reports of complaint against police related to Sun Luk Lane Holding Centre. Our capo officer will investigate into all cases fairly and seriously. Secondly, we understand the Sun Luk Lane Centre is relatively remote and not well connected to the city centre, with not many options of transport. And it's unavoidable that when there is need to arrange medical or legal assistance for arrested people, it takes longer time compared with normal circumstances. We understand there's some discrepancy between public expectation and our actual arrangement, but we believe such delay is understandable and reasonable. Thirdly, we must reiterate that we accord high priority to safeguarding the rights and welfare of detained people. Our procedures are governed by internal guidelines and regulations, like the police force orders and force procedures manuals. Despite the difficulties in handling a large number of arrests in recent months, our officers still perform their best in catering to their rights and well-being. Any complaints can be channeled through our capo mechanism. We will look into them seriously. Now I'll move on to talk about a public order event. The police has received a notification from an organizer for holding a public meeting on Hong Kong Island this Saturday. After conducting risk assessment and liaison with the organizer, we have issued a letter of no objection to the organizer. This public meeting will be held in the Tema Park with an estimated crowd size of 1,000 people. The police always respect all citizens' right to assembly and to express their opinion freely. We continue to work with organizers to ensure public order events are able to proceed in an orderly and safe manner. However, it is clear that demonstrations in the past 3 months have descended to reckless violence as radical protesters hijack public order events and exploit them to commit violent acts. Therefore, we appeal to all participants to stay calm and peaceful when taking part in the event. We are also aware that some people promote some unauthorized public events this weekend. We appeal to everyone to follow existing laws and procedures to notify the Commissioner of Police. That allow us to make respective arrangements to safeguard public safety and public order. Now I'll give an update on arrest figures. So far, we have arrested 1,596 people throughout the whole operation. There are some significant observations regarding the figures. Some schools resume on 1st of September. We have arrested 550 people, out of which 207 were students of secondary schools and universities. That is about 38% of the total. Compared with the period before 1st of September, only around 25% of all arrested people were students. This shows an upward trend in the number of students being arrested, and is an alarming trend to us. It is worrying to see these youth breaking the laws and possibly having criminal records at such a young and tender age. They may act under peer pressure or may be manipulated by others in committing such serious crime. We appeal to all youngsters to rethink their actions and hope the education sector and parents will help our young people to walk the straight and narrow path. As for new arrests, on Monday, we arrested 4 people aged between 16 and 48 years old for offences like possession of offensive weapons. On Tuesday, we arrested 15 people aged between 14 and 31 years old in Sa Tin and Mong Kok. Their offences include unlawful assembly. On Wednesday, we arrested 2 people aged 16 and 17 years old in Sa Tin. Their offences include assaulting a police officer. On Thursday, we arrested 1 19 years old man for arson and possession of instrument fit for unlawful purpose. In conclusion, the past 3 months have been continuously unrest and have divided families, friendships, and fraternities. Deep wounds have been opened in our societies. These will take time to heal. The government has said they hope that conversation will triumph over conflict. In the coming weekend, the police sincerely appeal to every member of the public to adopt peaceful and rational means of expression. We regret to see peaceful progress yet again being hijacked by radical protesters to inflict indiscriminate attacks on innocent citizens and commit violence acts like throwing of petrol bombs. Please allow me to remind you that arson and hurting others with petrol bombs is a serious offense liable to life imprisonment. I must emphasize, no excuse, no propaganda can justify or glorify such acts of violence. We all should stand up to stamp out violence right now. Thank you.
好，問題時間開始。明報。
有3條問題，第一條想問翻新屋嶺嗰2單投訴其實係涉及啲乜嘢問題？ 可唔可以簡單講一講嗰2個案件？同埋另外，即係因為琴晚即係特首都講到話，其實監警會都會重點檢視翻新屋嶺嗰個情況。而家坊間都有好多即係對於新屋嶺嘅指控啊，就話即係濫權同埋欠缺透明度。今晚都有個集會係即係針對住新屋嶺。咁而家警方檢討翻，其實係咪當初決定送被捕者去新屋嶺係一個錯嘅決定？咁第二方面就想問翻咧，有3個即係少年人啦，即係喺8月29號深水埗警署外面，警方係拉咗3個13到15歲嘅年輕人嘅，咁就申請一個保護令咁樣。咁但係今日裁判官已經話接受佢哋嘅報告，就話佢哋唔適宜係即係唔使警方去申請保護令嘅。咁同埋其中一個15歲嘅女仔咧，即係本身嗰個 charge 就係話佢藏有雷射筆同埋一個防毒呼吸器，但係其實即係代表律師都話呢條 charge 係錯嘅，佢事實上係攞住一支細電筒同埋一個口罩。咁所以係咪即係呢一件事顯示出警方係即係濫捕，又試圖係以保護令去限制年輕人嘅人身自由呢？第3方面就係講到關於警民關係同埋不信任嘅問題。 即係睇翻而家個即係3個月嘅示威活動啦，即係好多民調都顯示其實警民衝突同埋不信任嘅程度係越見上升嘅。咁我想問翻，即係喺一個警民關係咁惡劣嘅情況底下，即係其實在座各位都係即係 ops wing 啊，有冇 management 嘅人係需要為呢件事去負責，同埋你哋點樣重建翻警民關係？唔該。
關於新屋嶺第一題咧，我會先答。咁跟住第二題，我會揾阿李 Sir 答。咁翻嚟第3條，我都會再答。咁我諗頭先喺我嗰個即係開場嗰個講稿裏面都講咗啦。我諗新屋嶺係一個我哋合乎幾方面標準嘅一個羈留設施，包括喺無論喺設施、保安或者保障私隱嘅安排上咧，其實同我哋一貫或者一般嘅其他羈留設施咧係無異嘅。咁所以咧，其實就住你頭先所講，你話喺整體新屋嶺裏面嗰個情況，我哋當日攞去嚟做一個羈留嘅情況咧，我睇唔到當日有任何嘅問題。講緊最大嘅原因咧，並不是嗰個羈留設施出咗問題。我諗最大嘅原因係因為有好多唔同實嘅指控，而呢啲指控我哋經過好多次唔同嘅場合，亦都已經作出澄清。咁但係咧，仍然有大量嘅人咧去做出一啲咁嘅指控。咁亦都你頭先提及過有2個投訴啦，詳細嘅投訴內容咧，我真係不便喺度向你講解。咁但係咧，嗰2個投訴咧，一個咧就叫我哋叫做須知會投訴，咁就係由相關嘅律師去提供嘅。咁就關於一啲見疑犯嘅程序，而另外一個就係一個須知會嘅投訴，咁即係話其實佢係一個第三者作出嘅投訴，咁嗰個係最主要係睇到電視機有人哋話即係有打人咁去作出嘅，咁真正嘅投訴咁多，詳細嘅內容咧我就唔方便喺呢度即係同你作出詳細嘅投訴交代，咁或者先將時間交俾阿李 Sir 答第2條，我翻嚟先再答第3條。
就係關於咧頭先你所講嗰個嘅案件啦，咁就或者我想將呢個分開2個部分嘅。第一個咧就係嗰個嘅案件咧係關於對嗰個被捕人士嗰個檢控啦，而第2個部分嘅話咧，其實咧我哋就係有一個叫做保護兒童令入邊嗰個衍生出嚟嘅一個問題嚟嘅嚇。咁其實我哋點解警方會係需要有一個咁嘅有咁嘅程序咧嚇？咁其實咧呢個咧就係根據咗我哋嘅保護兒童及少年條例213條入邊咧，就係咧關於照顧同埋保護令入邊嘅。嗱，如果咧我哋發現到咧有一啲嘅被捕人士年紀當然係年輕㗎啦，頭先我講嗰啲少年人啊或者係兒童嗰方面嘅。而發覺咧，佢係需要係受到照顧嘅，需要受到照顧嘅咧。咁我哋點解咩叫需要受到照顧咧？例如譬如話佢係有俾人襲擊啊、虐待啊、忽略啊咁。而另一樣嘅咧就係話咧，就係話佢係不受控制嘅程度，而可能係達至到令到佢咧係令到佢自己本人啦，或者其他人咧受到傷害咧，我哋都係會喺個申請。我哋唔係話喺今次嘅行動入邊咧先有呢種嘅做法嘅。咁有陣時我哋會見到一啲夜青啊，或者係其他啲屋企忽略照顧嘅人士咧，喺俾我哋警方咧係拘捕啊或者截獲嘅時候咧，我哋都會申請呢一樣嘅嘢嘅。有個重點就係咧，我哋並非係用呢樣嘢咧，係要嚟當係要嚟懲罰佢本人或者佢家人，純粹係為咗佢個福祉，為咗佢個福利去做一樣嘢。個做法會係點嘅咧？就係會去俾法庭咧就係決定咧需唔需要咧係將佢羈留喺一個收容所入邊咧，而令到佢嘅福利係得。咁唔需要嘅話咧，就代表咗咧，即係話咧，佢個父母咧係可以或者係需要咧係照顧翻呢位嘅人士嘅。咁或者重點最重要一樣嘢咧，我哋並非係想用呢樣嘢咧係要嚟懲罰嗰個嘅被捕人士或者佢嘅家人嘅。好，唔該。嗰個因為我冇睇過嗰個案情嘅，我唔答你住啦呢個嚇。
好，咁啊就住你頭先第3條題目關於警民關係嗰個講法啦。我哋留意到咧，近日市民喺唔同嘅平台或者係一啲最近嘅一啲民調裏面咧，反映對警方而家嗰個睇法嘅。咁我諗即係警方喺近呢幾個月，尤其是一啲大型嘅暴力事件，或者一啲大家都已經視法律如無物去到處違法嘅情形之下咧，警方係有責任 要進行執法嘅行動。對於我哋嘅前線嘅同事，經常受到市民嘅一啲辱罵衝擊，亦都網絡上面有大量嘅失實指控，令到市民對我哋警隊嘅信任咧有所影響咧。我哋係感到非常之無奈。我諗如果你講到一啲相關嘅信任度咧，我諗公平啲睇咧，睇翻過去，其實我哋一直有留意本地嘅一啲民調，亦都有留意外國嘅一啲調查。咁其實喺過去咁耐嘅時間，包括喺2018年，甚至去到2019年嘅期間咧，其實我哋喺好多本地同外地嘅一啲調查裏面咧，其實我哋香港警隊係攞緊好高嘅評價。呢啲評價或者呢啲嘅肯定同認同，並唔係淨係單止於係我哋擁有一隊好高質素嘅警務人員，更加重要咧係香港其實我哋有一個好完善嘅法律制度，亦都警隊裏面其實係存在咗一啲好嚴謹嘅一啲內部守則同埋一啲好好嘅訓練，而同時間更加係有一套好完整、行之有效嘅監察警察嘅機制。種種嘅呢啲機制加埋我哋嘅人員，令到我哋喺咁多年嚟，甚至去到2018-19年，其實一直都可以得到好高嘅認同。呢啲嘢其實到呢刻係冇變過。喺過去，就算喺過去呢3-4個月比較香港動盪嘅時候咧，警隊仍然係每一日做緊我哋日常要做調查唔同嘅罪案，去管理交通，去處理一啲警民關係嘅工作，我哋工作如舊嘅。咁喺過去其實呢半年，整體香港嘅罪案數字，警隊仍然係協助維持緊一個極低嘅水平，亦係40幾年嚟嘅其中一個新低。無可否認，喺過去3個月，社會出現咗好多唔同嘅公眾活動，好多演變成一啲暴力嘅事件。呢啲暴力事件衝擊咗香港嘅法治，衝擊咗香港好多我哋生活嘅一啲設施。我可以咁講係史無前例，亦都係我哋即係警隊係面對緊一個好巨大、前所未有嘅挑戰。警務人員其實我哋由做警察第一日咧係冇得選擇嘅，遇到有人違法，遇到有人有暴力事件咧，我哋唯一可以做嘅就係面對同埋執法。明白喺呢段時間裏面咧有咁大型嘅違法事件，有咁大量嘅暴力事件，警方嘅執法咧係會令到部分嘅市民咧，佢對警隊嘅工作咧係有質疑。尤其是當喺呢段時間裏面有大量嘅抹黑、大量嘅假消息、假新聞，呢啲都係會影響市民對警隊嘅觀感，亦都會動搖佢哋對警隊嘅信心。我哋係有留意到相關嘅民調或者市民對警隊而家嘅睇法。我哋對坊間所有理性嘅批評，我哋都必定願意接受，同埋一定係會聽到。喺未來嘅日子，我哋必定會根據佢哋嘅意見作出改善，希望盡量盡快可以得返到市民對我哋嘅認同。聽唔到？
好，下一位，前邊 Now TV。
有 Now TV 嘅，首先想問翻啦，上次記者會講到 Yellow Object 嗰件事啦，其實之後就有多幾條嘅網上片段流傳咗出嚟，其實都好明顯見到，即係嗰名被制服嘅人士係一個人啦，而唔係一個 object 啊。想問下警方在座各位會唔會收翻當日記者會嘅言論，或者去代韋 Sir 道歉咧？即係稱呼嗰位人士做 Yellow Object。同埋，如果嗰日韋 Sir 都有講到，佢就話即係 appear to be a officer 係一個 kicking 緊嗰個 yellow object， 咁其實警方係咪都認同其實嗰陣時係警員有一個腳踢咗一下嗰名黃色衫人士嘅一個動作？你可唔可以解釋翻點解會有呢個行為？同埋另外想問翻新屋嶺嘅，其實之前就講話就係因為其他警署就唔夠空間啦，咁就所以要用新屋嶺啦。咁而家就暫停，咁之後如果再有大型嘅拘捕嘅時候，咁其實會點樣處理啲被捕人士呢？如果係可以處理到嘅話，咁點解當初都仲要用新屋嶺呢？同埋最後想問翻呢，即係最近好多 警員啊都有開微博啊，包括嗰個葵涌警署嘅一個警長啊，咁同埋見到佢個微博咧係用警方嘅名義，亦都有一啲發表一啲言論，包括支持何君堯啊，亦都話警隊對於啲示威者太仁慈，所以先無法無天咁嘅言論。就想問下警員啊，用一個警員嘅身份去開呢啲社交網站，其實有冇違反到啲咩警例咧？同埋係其實係咪違反咗政治中立嘅原則咧？唔該。
好，咁我會先答第一二條，一陣第三條我會邀請阿江 Sir 作答。就住上星期嘅一個喺後巷發生嘅事件咧，我諗其實頭先你都喺個問題裏面咧，其實都有提及到啦。我諗咧，當日如果大家有即係睇翻錄影或者回想翻當日嗰個情況咧，其實當陣時我哋嘅同事咧係真係講，佢係話我講佢講一句啊，佢話 A video in which shows what appears to be an officer kicking a yellow object on the ground， 佢係咁講，佢係講當刻佢見到嗰段比較模糊嘅片段，佢睇到佢嘅同事相信 appears 佢係踢緊一個黃色嘅 object， 佢有講過嘅。但係其實喺同一個記者會裏面咧，其實佢係有交代過另外一句説話 ，It could be an object, a person, a bag or a vest before I was interrupted。其實當日如果回想翻個記者會裏面咧，其實係一個好雙向嘅問答，佢一路答一路有人 interrupt， 咁所以咧佢係有講過你講嗰句嘅，佢係真係講過佢當刻睇到嗰段好模糊嘅片段裏面咧，係見到佢個同事咧好似係踢緊一件黃色嘅物體。咁但係其實同一個記者會佢自己澄清咗，就係喺冇 interrupt 嘅情形之下，佢係講咗話嗰個可以係一個 object、一個 person、一個 bag 或者 vest。咁我諗咧，佢自己已經喺個記者會嘅其中一部分裏面作出咗澄清咧，我就唔適合幫佢喺度作出澄清啦。我諗我即係只係引述翻當日喺記者會裏面嗰個情況。咁你另外提及到咧就係關於嗰刻我哋後尾揾多咗啲片段咯，我都想即係借呢個機會去作出少少嘅額外嘅資訊啦。咁其實咧當日我哋記者會咧，主要係就住一段嘅片段，大家去作出呢個討論。咁喺記者會間，其實我哋都有講述，其實我哋有睇過第二啲片段。咁後期喺唔同嘅平台度，大家都見到相關嘅片段。咁其實第一樣嘢我想講咧，其實當陣時嘅情況咧，其實係喺嗰個地方咧，係出現咗好大批嘅示威者咧，係喺嗰條巷外面咧。其實係圍住我哋警務人員嘅，嗰陣時大概應該有超過100人。咁我哋嗰刻咧，其實喺嗰度係做緊一啲截停同搜查，而期間係截停咗2名嘅人士進行一個盤問。咁有大量嘅示威者去衝擊我哋嘅警務工作嘅時候咧，我哋係將相關嘅人士咧帶去一個比較安全嘅地方，就係選擇咗後巷嘅位置。咁大家見到好多警察其實企咗喺嗰條後巷裏面。期間咧，亦都有人嘗試去推我哋嘅警務人員，亦都推低咗其中一個警務人員，所以我哋帶埋嗰個男子咧，就進入咗後巷咧，裡面去進行一啲截停同拘捕嘅行動。喺混亂間咧，其實咧我哋係嘗試去作出拘捕嘅時候咧，亦都俾嗰名男子咧係咬咗一啖啊個同事。咁我提及過當日其實我哋就係基於一個片段去就進行嗰個記者會啦。咁過咗幾日啦，其實而家我哋綜合咗、了解咗網上其他嘅一啲片段，同埋從我哋而家可以得知到嘅一啲資料咧，我都想作出一啲多啲嘅資訊俾大家。我哋暫時根據現有嘅一啲公開嘅片段咧，係唔能夠證實嗰個咁嚴重話我哋同事踢嗰個男子嘅呢個指控嘅。唯一可以肯定嘅喺片段裡面睇到處理嗰個男子嘅同事咧，身上面係孭住咗一支橙色柄嘅長槍，而喺佢處理嘅過程裡面，橙色柄嘅長槍曾經喺嗰一名男子嘅身上面嘅位置有搖晃過嘅情況出現。對於有一啲咁嚴重嘅指控，即係話我哋警務人員喺後巷襲擊或者踢呢位人士咧，警方非常之重視，所以喺過去幾日我哋主動介入咗去了解嘅事件，審視咗更多嘅資料，但係暫時並冇證據 顯示我哋嗰個人員係真係有踢過呢個男子。現階段我哋亦都冇收到任何相關嘅投訴，而作出呢個指控嘅人亦唔係當事人所提出。我哋希望可以有更多嘅資料去掌握呢件事嘅詳細嘅情況，所以好希望拍片嘅人士能夠可以將佢嘅片段交俾警方，亦都好希望相關嘅人士如果佢覺得係有需要嘅，亦都可以同警方協助。我哋好希望攞到相關嘅指控咧，作出嚴肅嘅跟進。係咁多。仲有相鄰就地方。sorry， 你可唔可以問多次？
新屋嶺就問到話，即係之前講到話啲警署唔夠空間，所以先要用新屋嶺啦。咁而家嘅話係，如果有大規模拘捕嘅時候，咁重新即係會點樣做啦？同埋如果係嘅話，咁咪證明其實當初都可以唔使用新屋嶺。
嗱應該咁講，新屋嶺係我哋其中一個嘅羈留設施，而呢個羈留設施咧一向係用嚟處理一啲非法入境者。咁即係話俾大家聽，其實新屋嶺呢個地方係能夠同一時間大型處理一啲拘捕人士。咁你問，如果將來如果我哋唔用新屋嶺，但係又有好大型嘅拘捕人士咧，咁無可否認，到時我哋可能係要用市區其他嘅警署裡面嘅羈留設施，先可以同一時間處理。咁如果個地方相對冇咁大，我自然可能就要分幾個地方。咁所以到時嗰個要面對嘅程序上嘅處理咧，就會面對另外一個挑戰啦。咁係咪咁樣就代表當日入去做就係錯咧？我完全諗唔到呢個邏輯係啲咩？因為其實咧，我諗最簡單諗住用一個大啲嘅地方一次過處理係一啲資源上嘅分配嚟。咁但係而家同市民嘅期望或者同相關一啲律師嘅期望有落差，咁我諗我哋警隊一向都係希望精益求精，希望用另外一個方法去盡量配合市民嗰個期望。咁所以我哋就即係而家就諗住唔用，就用翻外面嘅羈留設施去處理。咁到時可能會面對其他一啲程序上嘅困難。咁希望到時咧，即係大家又要諒解啦。咁如果唔係咧，警隊咧就好難工作嘅，因為每一個做法都會有好處同唔好處嘅地方嘅。希望大家明白。咁我諗我下一條我交俾阿江 Sir。
係。好啦，咁首先我其實喺開場白嘅時候都講咗，其實我諗我哋警務人員啦，即係我同事同埋我自己啦，喺休班嘅時候咧，其實所享有嘅自由係同大家係差唔多一樣。咁而呢個自由咧，亦都係包括我哋去使用一啲嘅社交媒體啦，又或者使用一啲社交網站。係啦，我唔會評論個別嘅社交媒體嘅軟件啊，係啊，我諗我哋所關注嘅就係我哋同事喺個使用個社交媒體嘅時候咧，會唔會即係放錯咗一啲牽涉敏感資料啊，或者機密嘅行動資料上去啦？同埋你所講嘅政治中立咧，我諗最重要嘅就係我諗我哋嘅同事喺當值嘅時候或者工作嘅時候要保持中立。就唔好影響到佢喺執行職務嘅時候嘅公正性，因為正如我喺開場白裏邊講過，我哋同事休班嘅時候同大家享有相近嘅自由，包括投票。咁係咪我同事嘅投票又代表佢唔政治中立呢？咁所以我諗最重要嘅就係我哋喺工作嘅時候，我哋要保持中立，去公正公平咁處理我哋嘅工作。而有關使用呢個社交媒體方面呢，其實我哋都有一啲嘅簡單嘅指引嘅，例如就係我哋會頭先有提過啦，同時就唔可以將一啲敏感同埋一啲機密嘅行動資料放去佢嘅社交媒體嘅嗰度啦。而另外就係佢使用社交媒體嘅時候要有一個敏感度啦，就以
获得监禁10年，最高可能是终身监禁。那么刚才提到的使用危险化学药品的话，危险化学物品，最高可以获得什么样的刑罚？然后另外就是在修例风波以来呢，已经出现了多次侮辱国旗国徽的事件。那么特区政府也表示会严正的跟进，警方在这方面的跟进情况如何？那么第3个问题呢，就是这周末明天的公众集会已经获得了警方的不反对通知书。那么除了这个周末，还在即将到来的国庆节期間，警方為了維護社會治安做了哪些準備？3個問題，謝謝。
我先請阿江 Sir 答第一條啦。咁跟住關於國旗相關污蔑國旗嘅法例咧，我會交俾阿李 Sir。咁最後一條關於嚟緊一啲公眾活動嘅咧，我會交俾阿廖 Sir 嘅。唔該，江 Sir。
係咁咧，就喺我一開始簡介嘅時候有提過暴動罪同埋縱火罪嘅刑罰啦。咁其實喺一啲嘅我哋都留意到喺自6月初開始唔同嘅公眾活動或者一啲示威裏邊啦，有啲人就除咗我頭先所講嘅可能有一啲縱火行為之外咧，亦都有投擲一啲不知名嘅，但係到最後個結果我哋見到應該係一啲嘅腐蝕性嘅物品嘅，係啦。咁而如果喺一啲嘅公眾活動裏邊去投擲呢一啲嘅腐蝕性嘅物品呢，係啦，咁其實係已經係違反咗呢個香港法例200章咧刑事罪行條例嘅傷人罪嘅，係啦。咁而當中係第17節裏邊嘅蓄意傷人罪咧，佢嘅刑罰係可以去到係終身監禁嘅，係啦。咁而我哋亦都要提醒啦，其實好似我開場白所講，有好多呢啲可能聽落去大家美化咗啊，可能佢投擲呢啲腐蝕性液體，其實係製造一個時間俾佢嘅同道人逃走啊咁。咁我覺得呢啲實在係即係將一啲好明顯違法嘅行為係去美化咗，係啦。咁其實我頭先亦都講咗，呢啲投擲腐蝕性液體咧係有機會終身監禁嘅，係啦。咁所以千祈唔好就聽人哋講就話呢啲其實都係一啲所謂義士嘅行為，係啦。咁但係其實呢啲係可以判終身監禁嘅，係啦。咁跟住我交俾阿李 Sir。
咁咧就我有啲數字可以同大家講一講嘅，就係話咧，其實我哋喺7月1號至到上週日，即係9月22號嘅時候咧，一共咧就係有9宗嘅係關於損毀國旗嘅案件咧，我哋係調查緊嘅。咁其中咧有5單咧，我哋已經咧係有拘捕咗相關嘅人士嘅，亦都有部分嘅案件咧已經咧係去咗法院嘅階段㗎啦。或者我都想介紹一下咧，關於我哋香港嗰個嘅國旗啊，同埋嗰個國徽條例嘅，咁咧其實就好簡單嘅啫，就係講咧就係話咧，如果係故意與焚毀啦、毀損啦、塗劃啦、玷污啦，同埋踐踏等嘅方式去侮辱國旗嘅話咧，係一個罪行嚟嘅。咁最高嘅時候咧係可以咧係入獄3年嘅。咁所以咧請各位示威嘅人士喺佢自己作出呢個表達自己任何嘅意見嘅時候咧，切勿咧去咁樣去玷污我哋嘅國旗。好，唔該。
好，我回應一下，就是在接下來這個週末啊，有很多這個公眾活動，特別是在一些媒體上面，可能正在做出一些呼籲。我們警方呢，其實一直呢也在留意這個有關的情況，並且呢，一直呢正在做一些整體的一些風險的評估。在這個人手調配方面呢，我們也會按照我們這個風險評估的結果，就是做出一些適當的部署。我們最主要的目的是要確保這個公眾安全和公眾秩序這個情況。那人手的細節呢，我們就是屬於行動的這個一部分，我們就不方便去透露了。不過我們也就是之前我也提過，我們呼籲所有在這個週末有計劃舉辦任何公眾活動的人士，希望呢他們能夠按照法律的要求，就是公安條例，向警方呢聯絡並且呢商討而且呢申請不反對通知書。那讓我們警方呢也能夠更 好的做出一些准备工作，配合他们的活动，让他们的活动呢能够在一个安全有序的情况下进行。谢谢。
下位 SMP。
From South China Morning Post, the first question is last night's chief executive's community dialogues held at the Queen Elizabeth Stadium. So, did the police contribute to the choice of the venue, and what's the original risk assessment to hold the event there? And the second question is, last night the chief executive and other officials couldn't leave the venue until 1:30 a.m. This morning as protesters surrounded the roads. So what was the security consideration at the time to let them stay in the stadium for like 4 hours instead of clearing the roads or let the chief executive to talk to the protesters who wanted to talk to them? And the third one is, what are the police plans on October 1st, as there are many activities to be organized by both anti-government and pro-government groups? Thank you.
First invite Mr. Kwong to answer the first one, and Mr. Liu to answer the third one, and I will answer the second one.
Okay. For the first question, I'm afraid that in the choice of the venue and the security arrangement for an activities attended by the chief executive is considered to be quite confidential. So I'm not in the position to disclose at this platform. However, I could tell you something in general about the risk assessment in the policing, the arrangement of different activities or events. Of course, as the law enforcement agency, our top concern is about public order and public safety. In particular, this event was attended by the chief executive. So we'll liaise with different stakeholders, include the LCSD, which is the stadium that the event was held, and also our police community relations officer will have liaison with some stakeholders in the vicinity of the stadium, including the schools as well as other government venues nearby. And also, we will have stringent risk assessment about whether any notified or unnotified public event will be held in Wan Chai or near the venue. And of course, last night we encountered some difficulties that we have some organizations or people who held some public events or some protests in the vicinity of the stadium without notifying us. So we have to ensure we have the sufficient manpower to deal with any sudden event event or any possibility that could happen in the vicinity. And I think that's it I could tell about the event.
I think for the second question, I think because you're asking about the specific arrangement yesterday, I'm afraid that I cannot disclose such specific details about our decision made on the operations. But in general, our operation decision is based on risk assessment and ground appreciation. And last night, I think all of you can see that more than 100 protesters dug up bricks from the pavement and occupy roads around the stadium. And they also blocked the entrance of the stadium, preventing certain people from leaving the venue. And so our officers on ground had to appreciate the situation and make respective arrangements in response to the risk involved at that specific moment. That's what I can answer. And I'll pass the floor to Mr. Liu.
You mentioned about the events that is going to happen on 1st of October. I must say it is now still a very big challenge for the police force as well, because so far we have only received very limited number of applications for the letter of no objections. I think one of them, some of you may know, there's an organization already applied it to conduct a large-scale public meetings and public processions on the 1st of October, which the events will start with a public meeting at Victoria Park, and then following the procession routes from Causeway Bay, Wan Chai, and they choose Chater Road as their destination. The notifications, they are estimating the attendance up to 200,000 people. And regarding this application, the police is now still having our risk assessment, and we are considering it right now. And of course, I must say, as usual, we assess the risk of each and every public order events and decide whether it is appropriate to issue the letter of no objections based on the most crucial point is the public order, public safety, as well as the rights and freedom of other road users, which is our main concern. As I said at the beginning, it is a very big challenge for the police in a sense that I think all of you may also aware there's a lot of propaganda from the social media with many events that people said they are going to held on the day from the early morning to the evening. Some of the events haven't mentioned any specific time. With that in hand, I must stress again, we from the aspect of public order, public safety, as well as protecting the life of other citizens, we hope that all the organizers, they can come out, approach the police, giving us more information, discuss with us, and apply for the letter of no objections appropriately according to the law. It is also important to remind citizens if they have plans to join any of those events which haven't been properly notified, which according to the public order ordinance, they may also have the chance to commit the offence of unauthorized assembly. Thank you.
最後3位，後邊港台。
Hello 香港電台，想問下咧關於新屋嶺嗰度咧，頭先都話咗，即係話會停用啦，咁就即係可能跟住落去，即係如果有拘捕人士，如果大量嘅話，都會即係分喺唔同嘅警署啦。其實即係有冇即係警方會唔會即係考慮？因為你都話即係有其中一個停用嘅原因都係因為有大量嘅謠言啦。咁之前都網傳就話即係有啲可能喺太平紳士或者議員咧想去即係參觀啊，或者去睇嗰個拘捕程序即係處理嗰個羈留人士嘅程序咧，都即係。不被容許咁樣啦。其實即係警方會唔會考慮就係呢方面咧透露更多資料，或者即使唔係俾所有市民，可能俾部分嘅人士係去即係了解更加多嗰個即係處理羈留人士嗰情況啦。呢個第一。第二就係咧，即係開始網上面有啲消息就話咧即係警方咧考慮緊停用咗新屋嶺之後咧，會用其他嘅地方，例如係大亞灣嘅船民營去即係裝修，或者係即係稍後會係即係用嚟做一啲大型拘捕嘅時候會去拘留啲人士啦。想問即係呢一啲嘅即係講法係咪真咧咁樣？第三就係想問下咧，即係警方點樣去評估由今個週末到10月1號之間嘅一啲即係一堆嘅即係可能即係網民發起嘅一啲活動，尤其是係10月1號嗰一日咧，因為都有一啲嘅報章引述咗啲消息就話咧，警方係會改變嗰個即係策略，只要有一啲堵路或者係一啲嘅即係違法嘅行為，就會即刻去拘捕啊咁樣。即係以防11嘅時候會即係太過多即係失控嘅情況。想問下呢一啲嘅講法係咪真咧？唔該。
好，我會先答頭兩條，咁跟住我會交俾阿廖 Sir 答第三條。咁我先答第二條咧，頭先講大亞灣咧嗰個咧，我哋未聽過，咁所以基於一啲暫時我哋冇資料嘅講法咧，我暫時唔能夠評論。咁就住第一條咧，你提及過咧，我諗新屋嶺一向都係我哋一個其中警隊嘅一個羈留設施啦。咁其實羈留設施一向因為保安嘅理由咧，從來都唔會作出一啲去 參觀啊或者性嘅安排。咁基於而家我哋係喺呢個行動上咧，我哋係唔會再作呢個用途，但係同時間我亦都有講咧，其實新屋嶺呢個拘留中心咧係仍然會作為去處理一啲非法入境者嘅拘留嘅用途。咁所以即係就住佢作為一個羈留設施而安排一啲參觀咧，咁呢個咧係暫時未有相關嘅安排嘅。咁就住各位嘅意見咧，我哋會再同相關嘅政策部門咧去商討。咁日後如果有相關嘅安排嘅時候，必定會通知大家。咁第3條嘅我會交俾廖 Sir。
關於11咧，咁正如頭先我都有提過咧，當日咧的而且確係有相當大嘅挑戰。個挑戰其實就係來自於好多好似頭先你提到嗰個不確定性係最困難嘅地方。咁而呢一個不確定性咧，亦都我哋其實會對每一個我哋獲得到嘅資料情報啦，係作為我哋情報分析一部分，亦都會係好認真去面對每一個情況，作出適當嗰個部署同埋安排嘅。咁至於你話提到嗰個做法上咧，以我嘅理解咧，其實警方喺開始到而家咧，其實成個每一次喺行動裏邊嘅大原則同埋我哋嘅做法咧，都係冇改變過嘅。我哋嘅大原則咧，其實每一次當我哋採取任何行動咧，都係首先除咗係以執法為我哋嘅其中一個主要任務之外咧，我哋公共安全、公共秩序咧，亦都係我哋同時考慮嘅之一。即係話現場係咪我哋嘅行動對於現場嘅市民或者係其他人士嘅安全啊，或者係整個活動對於社會嘅影響啊，都會係我哋考慮之一嚟嘅。咁係咁多。
最後嘅2條，後邊 Alfred。
Hi, can we follow up? Can we talk about this Saturday? Police have approved the public assembly near Tamar Park. The same protest organizer also applied back in September 15th, and their application was rejected. And that one of the reasons given during that letter of objection was that the protest was near high-risk buildings such as the government offices, government headquarters. So what's changed in terms of circumstances that made the police approve the upcoming protest on Saturday? The second question is about the yellow object controversy. So what happened last Friday, I believe, was that the police denied wrongdoing. You said that the reports were untrue, that an officer kicked a person wearing yellow clothing. And then you said that you're not sure whether that's a person, a vest, or a bag. So is that how police conduct your investigation? You first deny wrongdoing, and then you said you haven't finished your investigation. You need more information. So can you further explain the process of police investigations? My third question is that the Hong Kong National Party's Chen Ho-tin just said that he was assaulted, and earlier last week we also saw pro-democracy figures like Roy Kwong, also an Apple Daily reporter, assaulted. So can you update us on the investigations for these cases? Or do you see any links in terms of these assaults, and what are the challenges in investigating these assaults? Because as I understand, you haven't arrested anyone yet. Thank you.
Okay, I'll first invite Mr. Liu to answer the first question, followed by Mr. Lee for the third one, and I'll come back and answer the second one.
Regarding the event tomorrow, that the police has already issued the letter of no objections. I think you mentioned that you are comparing with other events that the police have issued a letter of objections before, which in some of those I've also attended the appeal board myself. I must stress that the police treat every applications for the holding public events very cautiously and seriously, and as you know, that it is according to the law that police have the duty to facilitate and help the organizer to arrange all peaceful protests, which is in is our duty to do so. So I must say that it is also a very difficult decision for the police to raise an objections because of course of the threat assessment at the time and then. I have some figures at hand that for the past 8 months, I must say that there are altogether 620 application for the letter of no objections, which among those we have 594 issued with letter of no objections, which is talking about a rate of 96%. Of course, in view of the recent situation, we do have consideration and objected a few, especially in the last few months. Regarding the events, comparingly, I can only say that we make every decisions very cautiously. It is not easy for us to object because we will have lots of meetings with the Department of Justice, making sure that we are fully justified according to the public order, public safety, as well as balancing the rights of other people, freedoms, so and so, before we can make the decisions. So this time we consider that having a look at the track record of previous events, we think that it is manageable, and we hope that the organizer will also help us to make sure that people are joining a peaceful and orderly event.
Should be able to explain further on the difference in circumstances, because we're talking about same similar location. This very same organizer was a good track record. The situation or like what's going on.
Okay, maybe I supplement a bit here. According to my information, the objective event, which was scheduled for the 15th of September, right, was a public procession plus public meeting. The nature of which is totally different with the one scheduled for this Saturday, which is only a public meeting. So I think it's unfair to compare the applications of two totally different nature of public events, and that's it I could supplement.
As for Mr. Chan's the case, the situation, yesterday we have already charged him with 2 offences, namely the unlawful assembly and the assaulting a police officers in relation to an event in Shangshui in the August. Because the case is already in the prosecution phase, so I'm afraid that I'm not allowed to discuss in detail what's going on for this gentleman. Sorry.
Well, my question was about him, like he was saying that he was assaulted earlier when he was making his way to the court. So I'm asking, it was more of a general question on the assault on pro-democracy figures, basically, in the past days, over the past week.
I'm sorry, I have no information on this question. Sorry.
Okay, for your second question, I think because the said person you mentioned basically was arrested for assaulting a police officer, and that case is under judicial process, and that's why I think I cannot make any comment on the process or the details of our investigations. But I must say that the commanders on that day, I think you're talking about the press conference on Monday rather than last Friday. Yes, on Monday. And the commander on that day basically made such remarks after looking at the very blurred video. I think what he mentioned on that day was not a conclusion resulting from a thorough investigation. The full remarks include the word appears to be, because on that day the resolution of the video was quite low and making it very hard to see very clearly on that day. And I must say that on that day he was making his point, he was interrupted a few times during the press conference. And so that's why, to be fair, he later clarified himself in the same press conference that could be an object, a person, a bag or vest. That's what he said in the same press conference. And I think the most important thing he did or he would like to address in that press conference on Monday is that he would like to call for that witness who filmed the video to come forward and help us in investigating the case. And we are focusing on the fact-finding on that day, and we shouldn't let such words distract us from the investigations. And I would like to mention it clearly because after a few days, after reading a few more videos, as well as we did some inquiries with our officers, because at that time a large number of protesters basically were behaving in a disorderly manner at the scene, and police officer did intercept 2 people for inquiry, and because the situation getting more tense and worse at that time, and the police need to retreat to the alley for the border search as well as the inquiry, because at that time we need to find a safe place, which is the alley, to handle the arrest and to avoid any further confrontation with the protester outside the alley. And eventually that man was arrested for assaulting a police officer, and when our officers handcuffed the man, he even beat one of our officers, and he did push one of our officers before he was brought to the alley. And from the videos circulating online so far, basically we still cannot substantiate such serious allegation, i.e. our officers kicking the man. And what we can confirm so far is that our officer, one officer at least, was carrying a shotgun on his shoulder, and he swung on top of that arrested person. That what we can see clearly on one of the videos. We hope to get a full view of what happened, so we appeal to those who have the original footage to get in touch with the police. And we certainly accord very high priority looking into these very serious allegations, and that's why in the past few days we proactively take measures to shed light on the issue. But so far we do not have any evidence to substantiate this very serious allegation, and that's why we still keep on appeal to the public. If you got any information, please come forward and give that information to the police. Thank you.
今日嘅最後一題，好，前邊呢位，前邊呢位，唔該。
獨媒記者想問就其實2014年預演佔中嘅時候，一晚拉咗511人，但係都冇用到新屋嶺啦。咁所以其實今次成個 period 先都冇嗰晚一次拉咁多。其實但係今次即係成個事件突然動用咗收工咧，其實係咪站不住腳咧？啱啱所謂嘅拉太多人，所以要送去新屋嶺。係咪有啲特登嘅意思，所以要即係動用埋新屋嶺拘留中心？第二條問題就係啱啱講到話休班警就有即係同平時嘅人有公民權利啦。咁但係而家咧就休班，因為呢個踏浪者行動咧，休班警又可以有呢個警棍啦，又可以隨時執勤。其實休班嘅時候都可以執行警務。咁就其實啱啱剛才講到話執行警務嘅時候就要保持中立，但係而家即係而家呢個情況就係休班警其實休班嘅時候都可以執行警務。其實反而係咪應該佐證就休班而家休班緊嘅警察係咪更加要保持中立，唔可以隨便係唔同嘅地方講有啲政治 bias 嘅説話咧？唔該。
我先答第一條啦，跟住交個時間俾阿江 Sir 答第二條啦。第一條咧，我暫時答唔到你，因為你講話拉512人咧，其實我暫時冇資料，當日其實佢哋係放咗喺邊度。咁同埋我諗唔同嘅日子咧有好多行動嘅考慮。咁所以你將我哋喺之前將啲部分拘捕人士擺入新屋嶺同5年前。點解我擺喺另外一個地方咧？我暫時喺冇足夠嘅資料情形之下咧，暫時唔能夠俾到一個比對嘅 comment 你。咁或者我將時間交俾阿江 Sir 答你。
好，咁首先我答呢個有關呢個政治中立嗰個部分之前，咁我又可以講講有關呢個休班同事就發配咗一啲嘅伸縮警棍呢方面啦，咁係啦。咁因為我哋其實咧都係見到喺過呢3個月裏邊啦，咁就嗰啲嘅暴力事件越嚟越多啦，咁亦都有好多唔同嘅即係日常我哋都有時即係好可悲咁，亦都見到有好多嘅破壞公物啊、破壞港鐵站啊，又或者一啲唔守法嘅事件，亦都越嚟越多啦，係啦。咁啊，於是乎我哋都係為咗可以同時去更加有效去處理呢啲事件嘅時候咧，咁所以我哋就發放咗呢一個嘅伸縮警棍俾同事。 咁我喺呢度都要重申啦。咁我頭先講嘅有關我哋同事其實休班嘅時候都係同大家有相近嘅公民權利啦，有我哋嘅自由嘅，係啦。咁但係同樣地咧，咁我諗我哋由我哋入學堂啦，我嗰個年代叫入學堂啦，咁而家叫做警察學院啦。我哋去宣誓做警察嘅時候咧，我諗我哋嘅天職咧。係啦，就係去維護法紀、維持治安啦，係啦。而喺警隊條例裏邊亦都寫得好清楚，係啊。總之我哋喺執行警權嘅時候咧，我哋就會被視作為上班嘅，就係非休班嘅，係啦。咁所以我諗嗰個例子可以好簡單嘅，就係即係咪我哋一個休班嘅同事喺街度見到有罪行發生，包括有人搶嘢、打劫、偷嘢、斬人，我哋都視而不見呢？咁呢個又係唔係我哋違背咗我哋當日加入嘅時候嘅誓詞咧？咁係啊，咁所以我諗並唔存在即係究竟我哋喺執行職務嘅時候即係我應該要講得好清楚啦。其實我哋行使警權嘅時候，係啦，我哋就會知道其實自己應該要做啲乜嘢。咁但係如果因為呢個原因係啦，而剝奪咗我哋同事嘅某啲嘅自由或者佢嘅一啲嘅權利嘅話，咁又是否公平啦？我諗呢個都大家要去深思一下啦。而另一樣嘢又係唔係因為我要保持政治中立，或者唔好話政治中立，我要保持中立或者唔想有人誤會嘅時候，係咪我又見到有人打家劫舍、有人殺人放火我一個休班同事亦都翹手當見唔到咧？咁係啦，咁希望可以答到你嘅問題。
唔該晒。